Hi, Bob.
Hey, Glenn, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can now. I didn't
Oh,
realize my laptop was muted.
okay, no problem.
I saw your mouth moving. I didn't see your red mic, so I'm like, this has got to be me. Hi, Mary.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Good to see you.
And you.
Doesn't look like we're going to have a long meeting, so that's good.
That's always good. Yeah.
I unfortunately forgot to print a copy of it. Tilt your screen down a little, Deb. Your chin's cut off.
Can't even see me.
Yeah, I can.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well,
Oh,
just
you.
tilt your screen. There you go. Now you're
Yep,
full
that's
screen.
perfect.
Look at how long Debbie's hair is getting.
I
Wow.
got no time to go to the beauty shop.
Gosh.
How are you, Mary?
Fine. Is that what retirement does? It gives you less time?
Makes me, yeah. You should know.
I know. I know.
How you guys been?
We've been good. Just trying to stay warm. I don't
Oh,
like
no
the cold.
kidding. I am ready. Ready for the summer.
Yeah, but I've got so much work to do on my boat. Oh my gosh.
Are you going to get it out this year?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I got to clean it and de-winterize it, and I didn't run it last year, so
Uh-oh.
that always means twice the work.
Yeah.
So.
Did you
I
pull the
remember
batteries
that.
out?
Oh yeah, I pull the batteries out. I winterize the engine and stuff. but usually if I go 2 years, then I've got issues either with the ignition or the carburetor. It
Mm,
never fails. So even though I put stuff in the gas,
yeah.
so it doesn't go with the carburetor. So I've got 2 carburetors, and when the one gums up, I put the other one in, and I then take the gum one up and take it to the machine shop and have them clean it out. So I've always got a spare.
Yeah.
It's never ending.
It is. It is. And then when I do because I always have to do the math on, okay, so how much does it cost to go into one outing? It makes me cry.
You
'Cause
just
you
have
act-
to do more than one outing,
Well,
Bob.
well, I know. So I know math wise, if I go at least 4 times out, then it's okay, because you're taking all that expense and aggregating it across four trips. If I go 5, it's fine. We're good. But I've gone years where I've only de-winterized it, got it all ready, and gone out once. It
Ah,
just the way it's happened, and then you know.
So do you trailer it?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 23-foot boat, but it's most vehicles can tow it if it's
Yeah.
got like 7,500 pounds is how much the trailer and the boat weigh. So
I found once we put our boat in a slip, we used way more. Or well, our smaller boat we had in rack storage.
yeah.
And so it was just call them up and tell them to put it in the water. And it's just so much easier
Yeah.
to go boating without having to hook it up to the trailer and drag it and launch it and then pull it back out.
Well, especially if you can get them to do the, getting it
Right.
de-winterized and re-winterized and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
now we just leave it in the slip and
Yeah, we're on a lift
waiting for us.
in a slip,
Yeah.
so it's under roof and.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I winterize it right on the lift. And come summertime, it's really just drop it in the water and start it up, put the
Yeah.
batteries back in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine's ready to go right now.
I know.
I was waiting for that, Galen.
As long as there's not ice on the water, it's fine.
And there was a day this week would have been a good boating day. Which one was that? It was like, yeah.
Yeah.
This week, maybe last week,
Was it last
Not
week?
yeah, last one. It wasn't
over
this
the
week.
weekend. Have you had yours out, Galen?
It's actually been a little while since we've had it out because there's been ice in the marina, so it's been hard to take it out.
And think about that.
Mhm. So the weather's nice, but the ice is still sitting there.
Yeah.
We were up at the marina on Saturday and watched a eagle flying around the marina getting fish out of the marina.
Yes,
Neat.
yeah.
The
It's
Eagles were-
amazing how many eagles you see on the
Oh, yeah.
river.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just basically trolling up the river, heading back to the marina, and we had one just fly down, swoop, grab right in front of us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I guess those Asian carp are easy picking.
Oh sure. Yeah. I'm sure they're not really that fast at this time of year either.
True.
We used to fish down at well, we still do occasionally, about down at Lake Taneycomo. And there'd always be eagles down there, and we'd take a trout and then just kind of stun it and then just toss it next to the boat, and the eagle comes right down and get it right next to the boat.
They're awesome creatures to watch.
Mhm. So how's the restaurant coming along?
They're still working on it. I haven't been there in a couple. The last time we were there, we delivered Tim and Sandy's new boat. And they are making progress on it. It's under roof and they're starting to cover
they're
up the
closed?
walls.
Is it enclosed yet? Because last time I saw it, they were still working on the walls.
Yeah, it wasn't completely enclosed the last time we were there, but any progress is good progress. He's
Oh yeah,
got
absolutely.
he's got the pool in and water sitting in the pool to
I
hold
can't
it
wait to try
down.
it out.
It's much larger than when they originally started. It blew over once and they had to start over.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, we had a really bad storm and
Big
it
wind and-
demolished it.
Oh,
And then they had some issues with building permits, and so they had to move some things.
Yeah,
Mm.
they didn't build exactly what they submitted to P&Z.
oops.
Oops. And the inspector actually caught it, so.
Yeah.
But it looks like it has potential to be really nice. It looks like it's gonna have decking all the way around it and looking out over the river, and we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm assuming it's going to be open to everybody on the river, right?
Oh, yeah, he put in a full bank of courtesy docks. Right at the mouth of the harbor, right when you come into the left. So, yeah.
Cool.
And he's been bringing in new docks,
Yeah, he bought 'em.
additional than what he previously had.
Yeah, I did see that on River Bells.
Hmm.
Yeah. He brought those in from somewhere down towards Portage.
Hmm.
Oh, wait, I gotta go. Let me put you on my phone with, I got a meeting on.
Okay, Cindy. Well, it's good to see you, Deb. Haven't seen you for a while. And Donna.
Thanks, you too.
Good to see you.
Good to see all you guys.
Sorry.
Hey, Cindy.
Hi, I'm here.
You get all those unwanted guests chased out?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Did you get everybody chased out? Tell
Out
them
of
you
where?
had a meeting.
You told somebody you had a meeting that you had to go to.
It was my brother. We've had.
Oh,
He
he's
gave me
welcome
some.
to join. I'm sure
Huh?
it'd be very riveting. So,
No, it's I can't talk about it.
all right.
It's a family, we have a funeral coming up
Oh.
and there were some details about what happened, so sorry.
No worries. We're all good here. I think we've got everybody here.
I saw the agenda and I said, oh, I gotta go.
Yep. So let me call the Burns Mill Board of Alderpersons regular meeting for February 1st, 2023 to order. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody would follow after me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
Allegiance to
United
Flag of
the
the
States,
United States of America and to the
and to the republic for which it
one
stands,
nation under God,
one nation under God, indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty and justice for all.
very much. All right, now we'll run on with roll call. Mary Shebley,
Here,
Lynn LaVenture,
Here.
Bob Prado.
Here.
Cindy Davies,
Here,
Robin Harris,
Here.
and Galen Harrison.
Here.
All right, very good. Item 4 here, is there anything we need to amend to the agenda or can we approve it as submitted?
You can approve it as submitted, sorry.
That's all right. Can I get a motion, please?
I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
second,
Bob,
Aye.
Glenn,
Yes.
Mary,
Aye.
Cindy. Cindy,
aye,
Robin,
Yes.
and Galen.
Aye.
All right, item 5, amending and approving the minutes from the board meeting from the 18th of January, 2023.
Can you scroll down to those, Rob?
Yeah, let me see if I can get to them.
I did not get an opportunity to print.
Okay, this is the 18th meeting. And like everybody's here.
Yeah, let's see.
They look fine to me. I thought that she did a good job of putting everything in perspective, so. I
Me,
thought-
me as, yeah, me as well.
Same here.
I
Okay,
agree.
thank you.
Okay, so can you get a motion?
I move to approve the minutes as submitted.
Second,
Galen,
Aye.
Robin,
Aye.
Cindy,
aye,
Bob,
Aye.
Glenn,
Yes.
and Mary.
Aye.
All right, moving on to item 6, city warrants and financial. It says nothing purchased outside of normal business or recurring. It might be nice to just get a dollar amount here, say nothing purchased outside of normal business or recurring, and the total dollar amount was X. Some
I
just
agree.
I have a
so we
question.
know what we're generally blanketly approving.
Yeah, I have a question about that. So what does this mean? So for example, like the electric, will we not see that anymore?
I mean, we can if you guys want to. One of the meetings, I think it was brought up, just regular items, in the course of business wasn't a big, and what we were putting on there is just the big items and things outside of a normal course of business. So, I mean, all we've done, since our last meeting is just pay, the electric bill, gas bill, stuff like that. So we can do it to where you guys see it, or just give you a dollar amount, but sometimes that list will be, outrageous, but I mean, however you guys want it. I was just making this a little bit easy. We didn't purchase or spend any money for supplies or anything else that was not, just normal everyday stuff.
But I would still like to see something. We used to always get minutes or warrants in the past, and it always opened up some good conversation in the meeting. Just like Galen had mentioned, it lets us know if we have a handle on our power bills, or maybe what's going on with public works, or how many brakes are we putting on police cars. I don't think that we need to know every paper clip and Post-it note that was bought. But I think, like Galen said, I would like to see some form of warrants presented to the board.
I agree, because it does give us a little bit of insight of what's going on. I mean, yeah, and again, what Glenn said is we don't need to know every little minutia detail, but we do like to see the overall.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can do that if you guys want to see the, any repairs and maintenance costs, but not supplies. I mean, I can.
Yeah, that kind of gives us an idea of, do we really need, are we overspending, or do we really need to replace something because we're repairing it all the time? I mean, it does help us.
Right. Well, and I agree with that 100%, but I'll just add this caveat to that, and that's what you guys pay me for. But I understand exactly what you're saying, and I would be happy to, however you guys want to do that. I thought this would slim it down and things like that, but if you guys, I can absolutely do that. It's not a problem to me at all.
Yeah. So we knew we were having problems with the HVAC system when we started looking at the utility bills coming in every month, and they were outrageous. And, it gave us the opportunity to make a change to the system. And I'd like to follow up to see, compared to what we were paying in the past to what we're paying in the future, was it a good decision to swap out the entire HVAC system? And, are we getting that, the ROI on that investment? And that's just one instance. And like Galen said, are we throwing good money after bad? So I would like to see something again, but not every.
Absolutely. I can make that happen for you.
Yeah, and I understand, Adam, that's part of your job as well, but it also gives us an oversight as well of what's going on, and it just makes us feel a little bit more comfortable, I think.
Yeah. So I just assumed, and I told her not to put on her because we had mentioned that one time.
We agreed to last meeting to
not. But we can actually I'll scale down what we normally do and give y'all the meat and potatoes of things. I don't mind. Yeah. So we'll start that going forward. Okay.
Well, Adam, one thing I'll ask: would it be easier just to present the warrant list as it previously was with everything in it versus, we don't want to make more work for anybody.
Right.
It's not hard to do. I can just do it from the last meeting, and then it'll just print up like it was.
Okay.
So it'll be easy to do.
Yeah, I don't care whether there's staples and pencils and stuff in there. It's just
Now that we got the QuickBooks Online, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, like I say, Galen and Glenn said, it's nice for the board to have oversight, and ultimately the board is, accountable for this.
Well, that and Adam, we desperately need your guidance on this, but we also want to have your back on it as well. If anybody were to charge you with, not charge you, but come and say, hey, well, what about this, and this? I can say, look, here's the stuff. You want to go talk to him? Go talk to him.
And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm definitely 100% not trying to hide anything. I just, I was, trying to make it a little more convenient for people. But yeah, absolutely, I don't mind that at all, and I don't mind to show everything we do. And if you guys want a number, I absolutely. I mean, it would help my case too sometimes when I'm like, hey, we did this, and this, and you guys understand what we spent. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's not a problem.
Okay, thank you, Adam.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Great. Okay. Well, sometimes the absence of something makes it better. So,
Yes.
okay. Well, proceeding on then to item 7 here, recognitions, proclamations. I don't believe we have any. Then item 8, old business. We don't have any old business, so we'll move on to new business. Item 8, we've got ARPA money.
Okay, so ARPA, we have to do our annual explanation. And I do believe, if I'm not 100%, I think I'm correct on this, but I think the money has to be spent by the end of June, I do believe. So what I did was, I'm sorry? Oh,
no, I just said I believe so.
yeah. So what I did was I went through every line item through our budget for the past since ARPA was a thing. And so what I did was I went through, and every large purchase that I thought could be paid with ARPA, I did that. We had a bunch of small items, but one of the problems I think we will have is that we're not supposed to use ARPA money for general revenue. So when you're buying, like, there is phones on there. We bought 4 duty phones. I think that's going to be a tight rope to walk because those are things in normal business that we should be purchasing. I put those on there because it was already labeled ARPA. So I went through there and I did, and a lot of stuff that was labeled ARPA that was on there, some of it was paid with grant money and some of it wasn't. So I tried to go decipher all that. So as you can see, I made this handy dandy spreadsheet here to kind of lay out what we've done.
Where's that spreadsheet, Adam? Is it in the package?
Yeah, it's in the packet.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me get to it.
There you go.
There it is.
So so I listed everything out the best I could. I went through and relabeled things. So what I did, so one of our issues was the ARPA money was put in our general fund. It shouldn't have been put in the general fund because it's hard to keep track of it that way. So what we've done is we went and we created a new fund called ARPA. So what I did was I went through every one of these line items and I moved that to this new ARPA. So it's not broke down by police department or general admin or anything like that. It's ARPA only. So that if they ever come back and ask us for an audit, we can pull just that line item and it's all there. So you have money in and you have money out, and it's that much easier to hold on to. So going through here, after I plugged in every possible thing I could, we had about $250,000 that was not accounted for ARPA. Our problem is we don't have $250,000 in our account to spend. But our thing is we have to spend this money. So there's things in yellow, like this ARPA consultant. I'm pretty sure that we paid for that. I can't find where we paid for that, but people tell me we hired an ARPA consultant. I can't find it anywhere. But I was told it was $10,000. I'm still looking for that. I can't find where a bill or anything. I can't locate it. And the concrete for the shed is eluding me a little bit. So I went ahead, and what we have left, what I did was we need to go ahead and update the system up front. We already approved to do that. So I put $60,000 in there for that. We bought 3 brand new Tahoes in the past 2 years. All that's being paid. I originally had put the streets $60,000 truck we're buying, but now we're going to pay for that through our capital improvement grant. So that freed up another $60,000. And I talked to Bob, and Bob is the only department in this that has not received any of this ARPA funding for any new equipment. So I asked Bob what he needed out there, and he gave me a list, and I told him to keep it around $60,000, and he did for the most part, but just to get some equipment out there, so a new plow, he needed a little little mini excavator to get the streets and stuff all cleaned up, and the ditches and stuff like that. But he gave me a list of things that are about $68,000 that is really needed out there. I actually went out to his shop the other day, and there's some, we can use some upgrades, and I think that this will allow him to do his job a little bit better. So we have that. I think on there, we did software upgrades of $60,000. I put Monica's pay on there because I think that was originally.
Hey, Adam, let
Yeah.
me ask on the software upgrade for 60 grand. Have we committed to that, or is that the thing that we've still sort of floating out there that they can't deliver for another year? Or
So
so?
it, from reading the minutes, I think we kind of committed to that. We just haven't received it yet.
So I
it's
think-
doable.
I
Yeah.
think that part of the problem was that we had to upgrade our IT
Right.
situation with our computers because what we had wouldn't support the program as we wanted it. And I thought we got on the list because it was like an 18-month like wait to build out, but we weren't ultimately sure if that's what the best program was given our IT situation. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, and two, so I put this $60,000 in there, but I've actually looked at a few other. So we only really need finance, payroll, and something for code enforcement. I think we can get that in a system that is. We don't need the bells and whistles. We just need something to help us better understand things. And I think we can get that for about $30,000. And I've talked to a couple of software people this week. There's a system down in Florida that we use that was called Assist. We could actually do police, all that kind of stuff with it, but we would only need code enforcement so that we can write tickets and do those things, and it'll actually print forms out for him, finance and payroll. And those are the things that we're looking for. And I think that we would be way under the $60,000 mark. And it's something we can get pretty quickly, I think, in the next, couple months instead of 18 months. So
Adam, that's why I asked, because does it have to be delivered by the end of June or just invoiced? And can we get invoiced?
as long as it's expended, we can go out.
Will they invoice us the 60 grand, or should we just
we can-
cancel this now and go with your approach and have an extra 30,000 potentially to spend on something else?
Well, this 60,000 is with the 60,000 for the street department. So if we agree to do that with the street department, I think with this, we can, I think we're still gonna have $30,000 left over.
Okay,
With this.
right.
I'll be honest with you, QuickBooks is not a solution for us. It's not even a great idea for us. It's hard to track. It's hard to maintain. It's hard to even, I'll be honest with you, our audits are off too because of the way everything is in there. So right now, I tell you, we overspent $130,000 last year, but the fact is we probably overspent about $300,000 because we used $200,000 of ARPA money in our general buying and stuff like that. So this money is going to have to be recouped out of our reserves. And this isn't one of those things where we can maybe do it, but we have to do it. It's either we buy stuff with it or we give it back to the federal government. I would rather
We don't
buy.
want to give it back.
Yeah. So but I do believe that the 30, I can get a new software system for less than that, but we have several months to still do that. So we don't have to make a choice on it tonight, but I think it's something that's really needed. I also put in there, I paid Monica's pay for this year and the next year. I put another retention in there for 20. We don't have to do that, but that's a $25,000 cost. We can use that money to float it somewhere else. But we have to, like I said, it's got to be something that we can spend within the next 6 months for that. But I really think that, and I also, so the computers up front, our problem is this right here, is that we tried to do Desktop Pro, which for the QuickBooks. So we couldn't even get it downloaded on the computers that are here because they just don't have the capacity and they're not. So I would say I put some money in there to maybe replace the computers in the front office, 3 of them at least, so that we can download any new software. I'm afraid because we can't even get QuickBooks download on there. Whatever other software we do purchase will not be compatible for the equipment we have at this moment. So I really think it's important to upgrade our computers as well and then get that new software.
Is that this line item here, the 10,000, or is that something else?
No, that's just the 10,000. That was for the initial cost for ThrottleNet.
Okay.
Yeah. So down here at the bottom is where I put the new computers. The very last thing for admin, you got retention, Monica's pay, which I misspelled that, and then the new computers. So, and that puts us, that breaks us even to 0. I mean, it's not going to be, it's not going to be as good as it looks on here, but I think we can make that happen. So with these things. Now, if we don't spend $60,000 on the computer upgrade, of course, I will try to find some other way to spend that money that's going to be conducive to to the running of the city. So
So, Adam, how old are the computers that we just replaced?
I'm kind of torn by this because I don't know. I see that we did purchase some computers with ARPA money, but I don't know if they were purchased for here or if they were purchased for the police. I'm not really sure, but I will tell you, if they were purchased here, they're not fantastic computers to the point where you can't, we can't even operate newer operations like our QuickBooks on there. So we had to do away with the QuickBooks Pro and go back to the desktop because these computers would not allow it. And then, our payroll, we were upgrading the payroll to QuickBooks so we can separate it out and pay it correctly. But we were not able to do that either because it wasn't sufficient for the operating systems that are in those computers. So I couldn't tell you how old these computers are. And so if we purchased them, we probably didn't get a great deal on it if we can't even upgrade.
I think they were purchased through our one PC guy that we had. Debbie, does that sound familiar? And do you recollect what we bought?
We replaced several police computers, and we did replace the 3 computers, the 3 admin computers last year from our past IT guy.
Okay.
Now, when we checked the software, they looked at our system and they said, yes, it was compatible, it would work, but if they've
Probably,
changed
yeah.
it by now, but
Probably what we were running back then. Yeah, they may have
Right.
worked fine with, but yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and two, I think all those computers were like $4,000, and I'll be honest with you, when you buy 6 computers for $4,000, you're getting a deal, but it's you're getting 6 computers for $4,000. They're not fantastic. So, but this is the plan, I think, unless you guys have something else. But this is what I put together, and I think we can go with that. But I really think we need to push some of this money out to the street department, and then kind of upgrade those other things. I think that would be a good way to go with that.
Have you compared the costs that we estimated last June for ARPA funding spending to what we're spending right now? Have you done that comparison yet?
So I seen what you guys was going to spend money on, and we've pretty much done those things. So the list was, but I think the
We had allocated 598,000, say 599,000 in that spreadsheet, that budget.
Yes, and a lot of that was done, but I think the costs of it were on the budget was a little higher than what because we upgraded the computers and stuff like that. And then some of the other things that we did, I don't have that in front of me right this very moment, but I was looking at it the other day. But I think we accomplished almost everything we did, and we still had this much money left over. And that's why I'm like, I couldn't find where we spent anything else that would correlate to us using our. And these are the biggest ticket items that we did. Even with so that's replacing the vehicles, the police vehicles, and upgrading all the equipment on them as well. But like, I think we'd have a really hard time with these little, $1,000 trinkets that we're, I think we'd have a hard time explaining that we needed that to use with ARPA money, So
Yeah, we didn't really have that many in that spreadsheet.
Right.
It's kind of interesting because we bought one extra vehicle, police vehicle, with the ARPA funds, but we had the Ford Escape for the code enforcement in this, but we're not spending that either. So it's weird how some of this is getting moved around.
Convoluted. Well, it's very convoluted right now. And the thing is so we've purchased in the last year and a half now, we've purchased 3 new Tahoes. So those 3 Tahoes are on here. So the one that we actually paid for last year I moved that to ARPA funds, and the 2 we just purchased were moved to ARPA funds as well.
Does that include the one that we bought outright?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you have 3 police Tahoes. Yeah, you have 3 police Tahoes on here. I canceled the car for the
right.
Yeah,
but I thought we were pulling the money from the last Tahoe from our reserves because it was cheaper to buy it that way.
Well, we were, but so what we did was we paid for it out of the general fund, and we were going to move money over. We had the funds there to do that. but this way we pay for it with ARPA funds. So we were able to, we had the funds were available to pay all 3 vehicles outright with the ARPA funds.
Okay, so we didn't pull anything out of
We
reserves.
didn't
then.
pull anything out of reserves for anything on this list, or we haven't pulled anything out of reserves at all. So except what we've overspent a little bit, but nothing for big ticket items.
Okay, I'm a bit confused about all this right now, so. not
Well,
sure.
and I am, well, I'll be honest with you, I am too. And that's what I'm saying. That QuickBooks is very hard to do, but everything that's labeled here is everything we've bought since ARPA come in and what we need to go forward. There was not $600,000 worth of big ticket items in there that we could push to that. So that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
Now, I did understand today that we may have said we're going to pay for some police officers. I didn't hear that. I haven't seen anything about that. So if I need to go in there and correct that to where we pay for a couple police officers for like the last year and go.
Yeah, we allocated 152,000 for that.
Okay, see, I didn't see that anywhere. So even with like Monica's pay was never being attributed to ARPA funds. So it is now. So if I need to go in there so we can.
Well, actually, yeah, if you go back to the June 1st of 2022, the board meeting packet, it's all in there. And when you say about that ARPA consultant for $10,000, well, looking at this, it says we're going to spend 1,000 in 2022, and we can spend up to 9,000 or up to 10,000 in 2023. So there's probably no money for that actually expended.
Okay, well, that's probably why I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything on that ARPA consultants at all.
Right. So I'd kind of look at that
Okay.
spreadsheet.
So,
Well,
well,
that
and
means we don't have to spend that 10,000 on. the
Exactly.
consultant.
It was not to exceed $10,000.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
well, I did read that. So, and that's what I put there because I thought that, and again, I couldn't find it where we had actually expended any money to that ARPA consultant.
Might have
So,
spent a little bit, but not.
okay. Well, I didn't see anything where it said ARPA consultant on there or where we had cut a check for anything. I couldn't find it. So, unless it's mislabeled and not under ARPA. So,
Yeah, you guys got a challenge.
I mean, right now though, so, I mean, is there anything off about what is on here now? I mean, that needs to be changed. I mean, I can always go back and fix things or whatever, but I mean, I think for the most part, this is kind of where we're at. I can go on there and put some officer salaries on there. So do y'all remember how many that was? You said 150?
Yeah, it was for 2 officers for 152,000 in 2023. So that was the allocation for that.
For 2023?
Yep.
Okay. And do we have any idea how we were going to pay for them after that?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we want to bring it up.
Okay. So okay. Well, we won't talk about it.
We'd made some assumptions.
Yeah,
That
we won't-
after
We did.
2023, we'd be able to
So, all
afford it.
right, we'll leave it at that. So I will allocate some of these funds to police officers, and I'll get it back out to you. And what we'll do is we can always go back. I'll make a new spreadsheet. I'll track down whatever we did spend on the ARPA consultant and kind of redo that. And then, but is there anything else on there that for things that I want to go forward with that you guys have a question about? Because this is what I'm going to present to the state or to the government whenever it's time to do our annual.
Rob, can you scroll down to the HVAC portion?
That's up. That should be up.
Up, I think, is the direction. Is it up in here?
Yes, the 76,000.
Plus another 7,700.
Yeah, so the 76,000.
I thought that was an all-inclusive. I thought the demo and replacement was the 76,120.
Well, Glenn, we allocated $83,825 for HVAC. So I think this is broken out into 2 separate.
And was the 7,700 the warranty upgrade that we
Yes.
did?
Oh, that's right, the warranty.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So the new system was the 76 and then the warranty came in.
Correct.
But no,
Yeah, that
I
makes-
suggest reworking this, Adam. I think this is a very good representation of what we got. Pull the 60 grand out for the admin software, adjust your 10 grand for ARPA, maybe down to $1 grand, and then add the police salaries in, and you know, we may be a little bit over, but that's
Okay.
that's fine. I think you're still in a good state where we can tweak this number and adjust things appropriately. You know,
Are we
everything
okay?
doesn't have to be ARPA, you know, but it's good to, like you said at the beginning, Adam, we want to spend $608,000.
Right. So is it okay to purchase some of those items for the street department? And what I'll do is once we look at pricing and stuff, I can bring that back to you guys for full approval, but we'll go ahead and let Bob look at getting some of those items.
Yeah, let's get some pricing on it and understand
Okay.
what it is. Once again,
Okay.
just like everybody else, we need to understand what the cost is before we approve it. But
Right.
I think you're doing a great job here, sort of trying to get this wrestled down. Did we make a presentation of what we spent ARPA wise last year, or is it only required this year just for the total 600?
You should have done one annual and then already, so that should have been 2022, and then you have the next one which is due this year, and then I'm from what I can understand reading on it, as long as we have it expended, I don't know that we have, I didn't see where it said to be invoiced, but as long as we have it expended, and show it on there, that I think we'll be fine, because they understand that things are taking longer to get here, cars and chip problems and stuff like that. So from what I was reading, I think it's okay that if we put it on there that we've expended it, so that if they do come back and audit it, we have it in there and coming out, and it's all under the same thing, and it's what we told them we paid for it. So I think that'll be fine.
Okay.
Anything else? Y'all have any questions on that?
Looks like we had $40,000 allocated for a police department clerk as well. That's
So maybe that was for Julie.
right. Well, but Julie was transferred, right?
Yeah, sort of, I guess.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we're looking at 2 police officer, and Julie, was that inclusive of that $150,000 you were talking about, Galen?
No, it's separate. We had a $40,000 allocated for that.
Okay, well, I would say, do we want to incorporate that in there as well?
Well, again, I think you use your best judgment. I think if you go back to that packet that we had for last June, or June 1 meeting, it's all in there. So I would say just use your best judgment for that.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, and I think with these ads, you'll probably be over 608. So
Well, which won't hurt us, because a lot of this, the police, we've already expended the salaries, and we expended some of, Monica's salary. So like, we won't have to dip into it, into the reserves to replace much of it, So I think we'll be, fixing this, I think we'll be fine. So.
okay. But like you say, we just need to categorize it properly and then present it to the state or the federal government. So we qualify.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Okay, item B, recycling grant.
Just to let you guys know, we asked for, I want to say about 150,000, I think, for the recycling grant this year, and we got awarded with $75,000. I will push back my original thought a couple of meetings ago, or maybe the last meeting, about possibly going to a 5-day recycling and just being closed on Sunday and Monday because of the 75,000. I think it's very important go from this stage to at least try to get the 2 employees out there that work with Bob and work in the recycling, is they're only making $14.80 or $14.80 to go ahead with and give them at least another $1 to kind of get them squared up, and then do away with that 5th or 6th-day recycling that's costing us overtime. And then so that's my plan. So you guys tell me what you want to do.
How much did we ask for and how much did we get?
I think we asked for $150,000. I'm about 80% sure that was either 120 or 150.
150.
150. Okay, 150. So, and we got 75,000. So,
Can we make it work with See, Adam, we don't want to spend the city money on
Right.
recycling.
So I think, let me, and I'm going, hold on one second, let me pull this up here.
Don't we have to match 10% on that?
Yeah, but we do that in kind.
Yeah, that's part of it, road maintenance, part of it's Bob's salary, so we can throw that in there and count it towards that, but it's not, Bob's got to be there anyhow.
Right.
And really the only employee that's attributable to this is Zoe. I think Brandon does majority street maintenance type work. He may fill in for Zoe on a vacation or situation if she's out sick, but if we go back to 5 days, I'm fine with that, but I think the comment needs to go back to them. This is not enough money, and I don't know if we're going to continue to do this.
Cannot be
Well,
included in the
that's,
grant.
yeah, that would be my,
Administrative cannot be included in his
that
administrative.
would be my feeling, is that if they're not wanting to support this and requiring Burns Mill to support it more than they will, then, is it worth it at that point?
We do this every year. We
I
say
know, and
we don't want to pay our taxpayer money because the majority of people who use our recycling come from outside of Burns Mill.
Right.
Well,
And
and your return on it is very minimal, to the point where like paying, so like I can make that $75,000 work, or make even $85,000 work with a 5-day work week, and paying a pretty decent okay salary without overtime. I think that's plausible, but you can't do that with doing it 6 days a week. I mean, if they give us $150,000, I agree with Rob on our last meeting, is that they give us $150,000 to be open 6 days a week. It's perfect. I don't think they're paying us to be open 6 days a week. So
that was part of the sale, or not the sale, but the grant request the previous year. We said we'd go ahead and operate 6 days a week, and I believe they gave us more before, but this is 75 is pretty minimal. And yeah, I would tell them we're going to go back to 5 days. And what the board is questioning whether we even operate going forward.
Yeah, I would say we're seriously considering not having it at that point.
Yeah, I'll be happy to
Because we're
dump all
not-
my stuff at their gate down there, right down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not like we're doing it to earn money,
right.
because it's not a thing to earn money. It's for convenience for our residents and for the area people around us. But if Jefferson County is not willing to support us with it, then.
When going back to Bob, so we can't actually charge Bob's pay to it. You can't be administrative pay to it. So they came back this year when we put our budget in there. I can't be, because I'm administrative. I can pay somebody to work the grant. So Monica, I can pay a little bit of her salary, but it can't be anybody administrative. So not Bob or anything else. So yeah. So.
Well, maybe that we'll just tell them that this is it this year. Then they can make plans to put up a compactor down at their place right down the road if they want to play this. This is ridiculous. Like Mary said, we are not in business to supply all of Jefferson County recycling services and cost our citizens money.
Yeah, so let's relook at it, and kind of towards the end of the year, and see, if it's costing us, $10,000 or $15,000, it isn't worth it for something that we make very minimal return on, and plus the 75,000. So let's go to my idea would be let's go to the 5-day work week, kind of fix Zoe and Brandon a dollar to kind of get them to that $15 range, and then relook at it and see if it's worth having the next year, even worth going out for that grant next year, if y'all are okay with that.
But now with you mentioned Brandon. Now Brandon only does fill-in work.
Right.
Are we paying his entire salary out of this?
No, we would pay some of his salary out of this, and it looks like from what I looked at it, we were paying some of his salary out of it anyway, because he
one
was
day's worth, so we weren't paying overtime. Is the way.
Well, we were paying. He was working that 6th day,
right?
My understanding. So we were paying his overtime out of it, and some of his just regular pay too, because he was dealing with the recycling, not standing there taking it, but he still dealt with it. So, but yeah.
So yeah, I'm in favor of getting Zoe some more money. That would be fair. She's working very, very cheap now and works very hard, and it's unfortunate that she has to be there and handhold, but she does. Maybe one of these outdated computers that you're going to replace, we could put down there for her. So I know she keeps track on a document, paper pad who's coming in, but maybe make it a little bit more formalized so we can present that back to the Solid Waste Commission too. And we need to put them on notice. I'd say not wait till the end of the year. We can tell them now, we're going to look at this at the end of the year, and you guys need to make plans now to accommodate recycling, because
I love your idea. I think that's I think that's important to see. I mean, because all the real backup we have right now is saying, hey, 70 people showed up this week, and then however much they say we dumped or got picked up. But yes, actually bringing in and having actual numbers and all that kind of stuff of what people are doing, I think would be a very good argument for us.
Adam, she has a spiral bound notebook that she tracks everybody that comes in. But I'm saying if you put in an Excel spreadsheet and just put in city resident or non-resident, you can sum that up a lot easier than trying to count with where it. And I know she's got time, because it's so I think that would be appropriate, and you could just save it to OneDrive and you could have access to it, and you can see the current levels of activity there. And once again, we can share that with the Jefferson County and say, look, guys, this is our amount of people we got coming in and out here. This is what you're going to have to take over.
And I think that balance of residents versus non-residents has really changed since we had our common service picked up now. So a lot of people, especially in my subdivision, they're all recycling at home. So
Yeah, here too. I don't know too many people who go to the recycling center anymore.
right.
I need.
And then we can show them how much we're actually disposing in tonnage, correct? We have a real tab on that.
Right.
Okay. But from what I understand, they're not equipped to handle any type of massive recycling like we do at their place right down the road here. So that'll be the good thing to throw up. Bob, weren't you saying that we are the only location in Jefferson County with a compactor?
Yes, we're the only ones. All the counties have bins, and they were actually shut down for about 4 days here about a week and a half ago because nobody was getting picked up. So they were packed, and people were just thrown on the ground from other places. So yeah.
So I think it's important we share our disappointment with them and put them on notice, so to say. We've been a good player for many years and trying to help out, but it's times are getting tougher, and once again, we need to keep the city viable. And granted, it's not going to make a huge difference to us if we cost us 10 grand or whatever, but it shouldn't cost us. We should make money a little bit on it. I'm not saying we need to make $10, $20, $30,000, but we shouldn't be paying for any of this.
Correct. Yeah.
So.
What?
Okay.
Excuse
Any
me.
other thoughts or comments from anybody? Nope. Okay. We're moving on to legislation. I don't believe we have anything under unfinished, and it doesn't look like we have any new legislation as well. So we'll move on to item number 12, administrator's report.
I don't have a whole lot. We again are working on our cutting costs a little bit. So we've been working on that and finding different ways. And I've been, moving numbers and, trying to make things work. It's, so yeah, we're just steadily doing that. But I do have a bit of good news. So today I went down and had a meeting with Enterprise Bank. And I think they're very on board with annexation with us. Wouldn't bring a ton of money into the city, of course, but after I left there, I went over to the pot shop. It smelled beautiful in there, by the way. And that man is very on board with coming into the city. So he actually wants to have a meeting. I'm going to stop by there tomorrow because I was very unprofessional today. I didn't bring any business cards. So I'm going to stop by there tomorrow and give my business card. He's going to have the CEO of his company contact me, and he wants to have a meeting with me and Allison to possibly come on board. That would be a big, huge play for us, especially trying to and trying to touch everybody else there. But the reception was fantastic, and I think that it's gonna, it's a good win for us, I think, so.
And
Did you
Adam, will
guys-
you ask him for dates the week of the 13th for us?
Yeah, so he's gonna, I'll ask him for the 13th.
Well, it doesn't have to be the 13th, but just that week. I'm gonna be out next week, so.
We're gonna do
Yeah.
it Zoom whenever you
Oh.
guys meet. It's gonna be Zoom because he's not near here.
Perfect.
But-
Yeah, that's
but the
fine.
guy- Yeah, the guy he's very familiar with the politics and local government, and he was excited, and he asked questions that I was prepared to answer, but like I was surprised that he would ask, but he was very on board. And I think his biggest concern was, well, what does Burns Mill think about having a pot shop in town?
We love them. They're great.
Well, and that's what I told him. I was like, I'm here. I'm like, we're wanting it. I mean, and it's a legal thing, so it's it's not a porn shop,
Either way, they're legal as long
There
as
is,
they get
yeah.
tax revenue. I don't care what they're selling, but there is a additional 3% tax. I don't know if the county is putting that on the ballot, but if we annex them in, we can also put that additional tax on marijuana on a ballot. So we
I
can
would-
actually bring
I
in.
would ask that we not do that.
Yeah.
Well, and I think, okay, so this is going to be, I think our selling point could be that we won't do that. I mean, you get 2.5% of what they're going to sell out there anyway.
It's higher too. The tax
because it'd be our 2.5%. They have a 4% adult
Right.
marijuana tax, and then
right.
think of 4% medical. So you're already taxed pretty high. But our 2.5%, I think, off of what we would sell to the adult population around here would bring us a great deal of revenue. And I'm not saying not to ever put that on the ballot.
Yes,
I
we
think
need
as a
to-
selling point.
We can talk about that when we get
Yeah.
a little closer, but we also
Right.
can negotiate that rate. Like we could ask for
Yeah.
a 1% instead of 3%, because his issue is going to be competition. Like, oh, well, these other cities, they have the, like Peevely, it's a tax on. We have North is in Peevely, so we're voting the tax. But I mean, at some point, like
Yes. Yeah.
they are
But
going to
we get them in first. Yeah, we get
right,
'em in
right.
first.
Yeah, so we will cross that bridge when we
Right.
come to it, but there is additional revenue, especially designated for marijuana shops. So
Correct, yes. And we talked about that. He was aware of that. So, but I think, with our, the selling point would be, okay, we do 2.5%. But I think revenue wise, especially, getting them and maybe possibly even, another building there would be phenomenal for us revenue wise. So,
Yeah. I think that's wonderful, Adam. I really appreciate you doing that.
So procedurally though, do we have to get a registered completed form from Enterprise Bank first before you can then go legally and talk to the other businesses? It sounds like it's a voluntary annexation.
Mhm.
So voluntary. to
I
me-
don't think they're tied to
I
either
don't know
one
if
is
they
tied
are or
to
not.
each other.
I'm asking Bob, or
Yeah.
can you just shoot the shotgun out and see where it lands? And
well, I have probably a 3-inch binder over here. I looked at every statute on annexation in the state of Missouri, and I didn't see anywhere where it said I can't, you can voluntary doesn't mean I can't ask you or see if you're interested or anything like that. And that's kind of what I was doing. So I didn't see in there where I wasn't allowed to do that, or even because ultimately what would happen anyway is I believe we're required to. So even if we brought the Buckeyes in, we would have to send out letters to everybody anyway,
Yes.
asking them. So I don't think it hurt us anything, and it gives us an idea. So like if he has said, no, get out of my office, I would think it would be a hot shot to get anybody else around there, but he was very on board with it. So it's a good thing. It really
Okay.
is.
I just wanted to ask. I'm not a legal expert. Just
I'm not either. I just read it, and I'm not even, and I'm not. Some of that was above my pay grade anyway. So
Well,
cool. We'll
from
figure
the-
it out. I can read it.
yeah, from the things I saw, the things I read, each is individual and an island among of its own.
right.
Nothing's dependent on it. It's a voluntary annexation. It's for that property, and that's it. It has nothing to do with anybody else, even though we're attempting to move this out. So.
Right.
Okay. Good, great. Well, good job, Adam. Keep us
Well,
posted. I think that's good.
Amy helped me, so good. Thank you, Amy. So
I'm really
Thank
glad to
you,
hear you
Amy.
guys are moving forward with it. I'm
Yeah.
Yeah.
very happy.
Okay, anything else, Adam?
I think that's all we can handle right now.
Okay, all right, great. Very good. Then we'll move on to department head reports. Frank, we'll start with you, if that's all right. And you're muted on Steve's computer. Still can't hear you, Frank. Okay, we'll wait. Here, you get yourself set. We'll jump over to Bob. Bob, you want to jump in first while Frank's getting set up?
Okay, mine won't take very long. We've just been fighting some of the weather that we've had, and I have no complaints so far. Used about 75 to 80 ton of our salt supply. And then we just been out trying to pick up trash that's being thrown all over the place. It's getting a little better, but there's still a lot of trash being thrown.
Yeah, it's
that's
disappointing
all
to
I-
see that. You know how
Yep.
disappointed I am in our residents and using our streets for trash. But you guys did a great job on Monday. The roads looked fantastic, although I couldn't get up my driveway to actually be on them. But when I walked through the yard, they were nice. So,
All right. Yep, that's all I have right now.
hey, how much salt do you have left? You said you used 70 to 80 tons.
We got about 125 ton total left. And I still have 100 sitting up in St. Louis at the warehouse till I got to get it out by the end of March. So we got a couple months before I get it out there.
Okay. Is that something you think you go ahead and exercise and get that out? And just so we have some on stock?
Yeah, I would like to get it out and go ahead and top off for the winter. That way, in case there's a short supply,
Sure.
like something we'll have enough.
Is there advantage to using up what we've got though? So I don't know if salt really gets old. Obviously it probably doesn't because it's been in the ground for many, many years.
Yeah, the very back gets hard, but we break it up. We'll run over it a couple times, soften it up so it goes through the spreaders.
Okay. Okay, great. Thank you, Bob. All right, Frank, over to you now. Looks like you're maybe able to speak.
Yeah, can you hear me? I'm sorry, I'm having a lot of computer problems.
That's okay. No, we're fine.
Okay. First thing I'd like to do is introduce everybody to Captain Steve Schaefer. He was just promoted on Sunday after a long promotional process.
Nice.
All right.
I've been without a captain since July, so it's quite a relief and moving forward here. So
Fantastic. Great.
congratulations.
All right.
Is he there?
Congratulations.
Can we see his face?
Yeah, he's that Steve there. See Steve?
Let me see. Where? I gotta look for
Wave,
him.
Steve. There you go.
Oh,
See
there
you
he
there?
is. Okay.
See
Welcome
him?
aboard. Congratulations.
Where is he? I don't see him.
You got to go down. You got to click the down arrow to look at the other people.
Okay. Everybody see him? Did you see
Yeah.
Here's Robin. It's not a good picture.
Oh,
Oh,
now.
man.
Boy.
That's why I've been keeping him on midnight shift. Okay.
Welcome.
All right, moving on. I was notified by the Crisis Intervention Training Council of Jefferson County that 3 of our officers will receive the CIT Award of Excellence at the annual CIT banquet held on March 9th. Those officers are Captain Steve Schaefer, Officer Nick Schmidt, Officer Tim Brady. These awards are presented only a few officers annually who have performed commendable jobs while dealing with victims of mental health issues. So congratulations to those guys. I look forward to that banquet. We finally received our 5 AEDs that were awarded by Jefferson Foundation grant early last year. The supply chain problems has caused these extreme delays in the delivery, unfortunately. And now I've attended recent subdivision meetings for Echo Lake subdivision and for the Jefferson County backstoppers. That's all I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Frank.
thank you, Frank.
Hey, Frank, I did want to share this out too. It's a document that Frank's group has put together just with the board. This is the current roster of the officers. So as you can see, it's a nice list. I think we've got we've got now 2 officers per every shift. Is that right? Frank?
Yes, and an overlay to cover days off, work, high time areas, and
Right.
it should save us on overtime.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah,
should be a
and I
big-
don't have the other document. I'm sorry, Frank, I don't have it, but Frank also supplied the same complimentary document from 4 years ago, and there's only one name on it that's still here, and that's Frank.
Yeah.
So everybody else, you know, so it's, you know, it's great to see these new guys here and the work they're doing and the wonderful, you know, approach that they've taken towards the community. There's nothing bad that I hear about you guys at all. You're doing a fantastic job, and I just want to reiterate that. And you know, pleased to see that we have a good captain now to help out too. So
Thank you.
So thank you very much.
I had a question / report. So we are working on doing that resolution that allowed us to take over the streets in that subdivision. And I'm a little confused because I know there were streets that at one point we had taken in and given back. Were these ever streets that the city maintained or owned?
Not that I'm aware of. This,
Oh,
What do you mean, Silverstone?
Yeah,
no, they were
we
never.
never owned them. Okay.
No, it was Boat Road. I'd have to look at the list. Lake Monowese.
Yeah, Lake Monowese.
Okay, because I think that like you were asking, do we need an ordinance? Do we need to call out the streets? And I'm like, no, we can just do it through resolution. I was under the impression these were roads that we already had adopted. I need to go back through because we may need to do an ordinance.
Yeah, I think
It's
in Allison, I was going to bring that up here. Look, I'm in
Yeah,
the
you can actually click on that
original website.
limit
look-
thing.
If we look at speed limits,
Yeah,
this is out of our ordinances here, and
Yes.
any location that has a speed limit enforced
right.
has a ordinance associated to it. So maybe our resolution now needs to turn to an ordinance to make it fall into here, because I was
So-
questioning how that goes here.
Yeah, we need, and I'm not ready to talk about this specific portion of the issue, like how we designate what the speed limit is, because I need to, I think there's an actual answer to this question. I don't know exactly what it is. Like, are they just making it up? Like, there has to be like a reason that it is that. And then we would just bring an ordinance amending this ordinance to reflect that street as well. So that's where the confusion was, but I've got clarity, so I can fix it. I just needed to know because I didn't know.
To me, it looks like it's a separate ordinance for each street we take on for speed enforcement. Because if you notice in Echo Lake, that was in 2019 that happened. So that's
Yeah,
ordinance
and
here.
this schedule is a little bit odd. I'll clean it up. We'll get
Okay.
it cleaned up. So
Right.
but now I know the answer, so I can clean it up.
To me, that's what it sort of feels like. It's like I think that we talked about it. We can resolution it, which is fine, and then we just need to turn it now into an ordinance to be able to dump it in here. But and Frank, where did the speed limit number come up from? Was that just a sort of an agreement between you and the subdivision? Try it again.
talking about Silverstone.
Got another speaker on.
Right.
Yeah, is your cell phone on, Frank?
No.
Well, anyhow, we'll talk about it later. But anyhow, yeah.
Okay, got it. We'll take care of it.
Okay.
We pulled it off the agenda because I needed to get clarification. I just didn't know, and now I know, so we'll get it taken care of.
Okay, great. Very good. So do we have any commission reports, Adam, that you're aware of?
No, sir.
Nope. Okay. We'll run on to administrator's report. So I have a couple things I wanted to bring up here. First of all, Adam, city cleanup. It's sometime in April or May. Debbie, do you remember?
April.
April?
Last Saturday of April.
Last Saturday of April. So we sort of need to get that started to organize, and Adam, for your benefit, if you're not aware of what it is, we have a a dumpster that we put up at the maintenance shop recycle center, and citizens can bring truckloads of material up there to be thrown out and put it in the dumpster for, I believe it was a fee of $20 per load that we charged last year. I may be off on the numbers. You have to look it up. And that we also charge, we can go pick it up at their, in front of their house for $25 or $30. Once again, I'm not sure on the dollar amount, but it's something we need to look at doing. It's always fairly well received. And I believe we get a dumpster for free from American Eagle for this. Is that, am I remembering correctly or not here?
Bob
Maybe
would
you-
know, wouldn't he? Is he
I-
gone?
Bob, do you remember?
I think the last year they've charged us from, I think we only got it once or twice
Okay,
since American Eagles.
okay. But either way, basically the fee that the individuals pay to bring their stuff up, it pretty well covers the cost of the dumpster, and it's a good service to do for the community. You know, it's amazing how quickly we can fill up a dumpster with mattresses and couches and other just useless stuff that people have laying around. Plus, it's a good opportunity for Glenn and I to get to dig through all the stuff.
Oh, yeah. 3 weed eaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mary Ann was actually explaining that to me today, and actually mentioned that we should probably get started on some kind of material to get out there for people to
Right.
you know,
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up, to make sure we started thinking about it and get that going. So we have some advance notice on that. Okay, let's see, another thing I want to check on, speaking of American Eagle, Adam, have you found any of the American Eagle contract? The
only thing I can find is where it was talked about in the meeting when you guys, I guess, had a couple of different quotes, but I cannot locate any actual contract that was signed with American Eagle.
Okay. Okay, Debbie, do you know of where that contract might be?
Gosh, it was in several places. It would be in the old minute book. It would be behind the ordinance that we passed when we took them on. Trying to think of where else it would be. I had a packet in my office with the contract in it.
Okay. Well, that's a couple places to look. So the reason I bring it up, I know American Eagle was looking to possibly do a rate increase. And Adam, you were looking for the contract to be able to review and see if when they can, and then when they can, and then what we need to do as far as even looking to go out for bid again. Not that we want to change out from American Eagle, but legally we may have to go out for bid just for the process.
So I guess that's where Allison would come in. So
Yes, if
Can we
we
just-
are happy, and we can talk about contracts in closed session.
Yes.
So if we're happy with our contract, we can stay with it. I guess we need to find the contract. I could have it. I don't know. I'll look and see if I can find it on my system. But I don't know that this is the right time to go out for bid, because I will tell you, all of the trash contracts are really expensive right now because of the cost of fuel last year. So it would probably be prudent to wait until the next year, just because I don't think this is a great year to get a bid with inflation and whatnot.
Right. Well, Allison, the reason I brought it up is because Brian from American Eagle sent an email last month stating that they were wanting to increase their rates. So that's why we need to look at the contract to see, one, if they can do that, and then what we do about that.
Yeah, and we can, but I don't like, as far as the timing, you know, I don't think we want to sign like another 15-year contract, but we probably should find out what the terms are and
Sure.
then make a determination at that point, you know, if we want to go out, but we can extend for a year and then go out for bid and decide
Okay.
what we want to do.
As I remember, and I don't have that great of a memory, but I thought it was a 3-year contract we entered into American Eagle, and this is the
Yeah.
3rd year, I believe. 'Cause
Yes.
It was,
I do remember it was a 3-year contract.
and I think it was 2019 that we were dealing with that. It was pre-COVID, and it was very polarizing to the city back then. 'Cause there were the beloved, everybody had their own trash hauler that they knew and they gave Christmas presents to. So
That's like, I think I have PTSD from the last time. Like it's like, and it's like that everywhere. Like the trash contract is like always a nightmare. It's always, it's just,
Yep.
it's a mess. So yeah, I'll see if I can find it on mine, but I mean, they should have a contract. We could ask them to send us a copy of our contract.
sure, okay. All right, I just we want to keep the ball rolling on it. And that. Okay. The one other thing I want to talk about is Frank and I have been speaking about, and this is our idea for the board to get to meet the officers a little bit more, other than, you know, a Zoom meeting where you occasionally see somebody else on the screen. So we were talking there, they have they're going to have a firearms training in the boardroom where they shoot at the video screen, so they're not using live firearms or anything like that. So unless you guys want to. And Bob Prado, you don't get to play. So.
Oh, come on.
But we were thinking it might be a good opportunity for the board to come up during one of those sessions. It'd be a reason that all the officers get together anyway, and for the board to get to meet them, and maybe they could participate in some of the training drills there. We could potentially bring in some lunch and that. But I'd like the board to get to at least know some of the officers a little bit better, other than, you know, seeing their picture on the webpage or something along that lines. So just something for you board members to think about. You know, I try to meet all the officers and know them by name and you know, learn a little bit about them, but it's hard. And I know some of you work and that, so it makes it more difficult, but it's just thought to throw out there. So if you guys think it would possibly work, I think we could try to set something up maybe later in April or May, something like that.
I'm all for it. I'd like to meet the new guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well, even any
always thought it was, yeah, I always thought it was a good idea to get us together with the board, with the police officers occasionally, because it's nice.
You know, I like the officers to get to know you guys too, you know, so it's a two-way street. So
It's nice
I
to talk to
also
them on
want
the
to
street.
remind the elected officials, when you
What?
interact with staff, to make sure you don't make representations or promises, because while I love you all knowing the staff, I also don't want to break that barrier between professionalism and staff. And so you got to be careful. Don't say anything like, take all the time off you want. It's fine.
no, I
And
wouldn't
if there's-
expect anybody to say it. Hopefully we wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't believe what people will say. But
No.
also, if there's an opportunity, a possibility that you'll have a quorum, you got to post the notice of a possible quorum. So
Yeah.
just
Oh, you mean if we all go up to the arms thing, that's it? Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Well, we can certainly post it. That's not, no harm there. So.
No, not at all.
Robert, were we given any consideration to going back to live meetings?
You know, I wanted to see how we came out of February. I've seen the COVID numbers going way down. I believe the president's, changed, so it's no longer going to be a pandemic fairly soon. And I know our offices from the company I work with have relaxed mask mandates and so forth. So yeah, I think we may want to consider that, maybe give it another month or so, and we can bring it up in March and see how we feel, and maybe go back to, you know, a sort of a hybrid approach, one on-site meeting per month and then one Zoom meeting per month. So, you know, I know a lot of the members like Zoom. I personally like Zoom. Allison likes Zoom. So it's you know, it's a good way to meet, but I think meeting in person helps too.
Spark conversation and yeah.
Yep. So let's bring it up at the next the first board meeting in March, and we'll go from there. Make a decision, maybe have something in April. And that's all I have for my report. So Amy, was there anything submitted by the public as far as questions for the board?
No, there was not.
Okay. Then moving on to item 17, closed session. Do we have a need for closed session? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion from the board, please?
Okay, I move to, I
Go
can't,
ahead. Go ahead.
I move to adjourn to closed session for purposes of closed meeting, closed record, closed vote pursuant to RSMO 610.0211, 1 legal, 2 real estate, 3 personnel.
Second,
Second.
All right, Mary,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
Bob,
Bye.
Galen,
Aye.
Robin,
Yes.
and Glenn.
yes.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight. Have a safe rest of the week, and we'll talk soon.
Everybody later, and congratulations.
Aye.
See you, Terry.
You Terry.
Night.